What's going on, everyone? NOAM here, and today I'm going to be breaking down a sample off the new Ilusiones sample pack, which is available now. You can get that on the Hijo De Ramon website or the Drum Broker as well. Just a quick shout out to Kame1, who hit me up about doing this pack, and I was more than happy to oblige because he's an incredible sound designer and producer, and um, his compositions are really incredible. So I was really happy that he asked me to do this. So shout out to him. Without further ado, I guess I'll break down this sample. This one's called Unicorn, and I'll just play the first 8 bars, and then we can kind of look at the individual elements. So let's hear it. Oh. All right, so in that section, there's 4 different tracks, 4 elements. There's a acoustic nylon string guitar. There's an electric bass. There is a little poly lead, a Korg Poly 6, and there is a Mellotron string chop. So, kind of the meat and potatoes, I guess, is this acoustic nylon string guitar. And in terms of processing, it's just some compression, just Ableton stock EQ, um, some RC20 that has some distortion on it, add some grit, and a little bit of reverb space kind of stuff, and some magnetic tape wear, which you can kind of hear. It kind of makes it sound like the tape is messing up, and the audio is getting dropped in certain points, and the quality's kind of a little reduced. And some chorus, which I think just adds some body to the guitar and a little bit of extra color. So we can just listen to it soloed here. The next part is the Poly 6 lead, which is something I just played on my synth. And it's super simple, but I feel like it's kind of a little catchy melody, and it fits in nicely in between all the other parts. So let's just hear that. Super simple. Okay, so yeah, as you can hear, that's a very simple kind of element. Just a little bit of EQ, some wah, and some auto filter, a little like envelope filter, so you can kind of hear that filter opening up and um, kind of revealing a bit more of the top end of that sample. The next section, let's see, we got the Mellotron string, which is kind of a plugin that I used from Arturia, their kind of take on a Mellotron. Um, and I basically just played it in MIDI and then committed it to audio and then chopped that audio. Uh, so let's hear that on its own. Again, really simple, just kind of accentuating the chords, and kind of just giving the sample a little bit more body. It's very subtle. It's kind of in the background, but I feel like it gives you kind of something to nod your head to a little bit more, and it just adds a little more rhythm as well. And then the last element's the electric bass, which I played just on a Squire P bass. Didn't really do much in terms of processing, to be honest. I kind of just rolled off a lot of the mid range and top end with the Ableton stock EQ, and I thought it sounded so good just coming through kind of the preamps of my interface. So I didn't really compress it or try to do too much. So let's have a listen. Yeah, so that's just a really simple kind of bass line, just kind of hitting the root notes, not trying to do too much. I'm not the best bass player, so I find in those situations it's a good rule of thumb to not kind of overplay, keep it simple, and that's generally worked for me. So let's go to this next section here, the next 8 bars, and have a listen. Okay, yeah, so in that section, we've got the same 4 elements, and then a couple new things come in. So the big thing that comes in here is these vocals. Um, and what I like to do generally when I record vocals is to record a melody, um, something pretty simple, and then I like to stack that melody, maybe double it or triple it so it sounds a bit fuller and wider. And then I'll record a harmony and maybe double or triple the harmony. Um, and then I'll record maybe another harmony so it becomes a 3-part harmony, double or triple that. And if I'm really feeling um, like it needs more, then I'll keep stacking harmonies essentially. So here we've got 12 stacks of vocals, and we can kind of just hear the individual parts one by one. So this is probably the first melody here. So that's one melody. And then if we go boom. So there's a harmony there. And if we keep adding in elements, a little lower harmony. And the last harmony would be this. Oh. Sorry. There's a high one there. Right, so it sounds really pretty, really full. That's one of my favorite things to do is stack my own vocals and come up with uh, interesting lines and just ways to make my voice sound, uh, like a multitude of voices essentially. Um, and in terms of processing, just some EQ. Again, Ableton stock EQ, Ableton basic compressor, uh, some really generic reverb, to be honest. And for some reason, there's another compressor on here. And I think on the way in through my UAD, I was using a UAD interface, and I used Neve 1073 preamp, their model of the Neve 1073, which is a great mic preamp, and a Tube Tech CL1B compressor. That's kind of my go-to for recording vocals. Okay, and then the next thing is this little Rhodes that comes in here. Not an actual Rhodes, again, this is an Arturia plugin, their Stage 73 plugin. And I just played this kind of little melody. Yeah, so that's like a super dreamy sort of Stage 73 Rhodes. I think it just has compression and EQ, and again, I committed it to audio just sort of to save on CPU space. But it's a very simple melody, and honestly, I feel like it goes well with those vocals. So I'm kind of trying to introduce new elements as the sample progresses. If we move to this next section here, let's have a listen, and a couple new things come in as well. Right, so there, couple things come in. We've got this ARP sweep, which is kind of I basically just, I think, just hit all the black keys and kind of swept up the octave to create this sound here. Let's hear it. And that's got some delay on it. Some delay, some EQ. Just kind of a little spacey effect. And it works well in the breakdown. And for that, I use this Arturia Synclavier lead sound. And then there is a little string that comes in as well. This sort of string swell here. And for that, I believe, what did I use here? I used this Spitfire Labs cello, and this is actually a free plugin. And they have a lot of great free plugins in terms of strings and other acoustic instruments, and I'd highly recommend them, to be honest. There's some great plugins that sound I think they are actually recording real cellos and string sections and trumpets and all sorts of stuff. So I would definitely say go get that if you want some free stuff. The vocals stay in. The Mellotron stays in that part. The Rhodes stays in, and there's also the guitar, which is just kind of chopped, and I pitched it down an octave so you can hear. And that's just kind of to provide a little bit of a switch up, and give the ear something that's like, oh, that's different. I find pitching stuff, and especially in Ableton, when you pitch audio, it does really cool stuff, and creates these weird artifacts, and makes it sound a little bit more messed up. That's generally something I like to do a lot, is to pitch my audio, whether it's vocals or guitars or any instruments, really, just to see how they sound in different keys. And yeah, that's basically the sample. I mean, and then it just kind of ends off with the poly lead, the Mellotron chop, and this Rhodes, and the guitar cuts out, so it just ends like this. Yeah, so that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go get that Ilusiones sample pack. There's 9 other samples on it, and they're just as fire as this one. So appreciate you guys, and hope you have a great day.